The people pleaser inside you was not created because you are naturally weak. It was created through a belief that slowly became part of your identity. If I keep everyone happy, they will accept me. If I never disappoint anyone, they will not reject me. If I always give more, they will see my value. So you learn to become agreeable. You learn to say yes before asking what you truly wanted. You learn to apologize even when you had done nothing wrong. You learn to hide your anger, silence your opinions, and make yourself smaller so other people would feel comfortable. For a long time, you may have called this kindness, but this video is not here to make you less kind. It is here to destroy the fear that has been hiding behind your kindness, the fear that you must sacrifice yourself to deserve love, respect, or acceptance. The people pleaser survives by making one dangerous promise: I will never become a problem for anyone. You become the person who always understands, always forgives, always adjusts, and always makes room. When someone needs help, you immediately feel responsible. When someone is upset, you assume you must fix it. When someone becomes distant, you search your behavior for mistakes. You become so focused on protecting everyone else from discomfort that you stop noticing how much discomfort you are carrying inside. Your own needs are postponed. Your own boundaries are ignored. Your own voice becomes quieter. And every time you abandon yourself to keep someone else comfortable, the people pleaser inside you becomes stronger. This is where the transformation must begin. You have to understand that people pleasing is not always kindness. Sometimes it is fear wearing the mask of kindness. You may help because you genuinely care, but you may also help because you are afraid that refusing will make people dislike you. You may agree because you respect another opinion, but you may also agree because conflict makes you uncomfortable. You may forgive because you believe in compassion, but you may also forgive because you are afraid that protecting yourself will cause someone to leave. The action may look the same from the outside, but the motivation changes everything. Real kindness comes from freedom. People-pleasing comes from fear. Real kindness says, I choose to give. People-pleasing says, I have to give or I may lose my place. The people pleaser inside you depends on your fear of rejection. It tells you that being disliked is dangerous. It convinces you that one disagreement can destroy a relationship. It makes you believe that someone's disappointment is proof that you have done something wrong. Because of this, you begin managing people instead of connecting with them. You carefully choose every word. You hide your real opinions. You agree with things that violate your values. You tolerate behavior that hurts you because you are more afraid of losing the person than losing your peace. But every time you choose acceptance over honesty, you send yourself a silent message. Their approval matters more than my truth. That message slowly destroys confidence. You cannot build self-respect while repeatedly betraying yourself. You cannot become mentally strong while allowing every opinion to decide how you should behave. You cannot feel free while constantly asking, will they be upset if I say no? The people pleaser inside you keeps you trapped because it teaches you to measure your worth through other people's reactions. If they smile, you feel safe. If they praise you, you feel valuable. If they become disappointed, you feel guilty. If they criticize you, you question yourself. Your emotional state becomes controlled by people who may not even understand how much power you have given them. But here is the truth that begins killing the people pleaser. You are allowed to disappoint people. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to protect your time. You are allowed to disagree without becoming cruel. You are allowed to have needs without apologizing for existing. Someone's disappointment does not automatically mean you made the wrong decision. Sometimes people are disappointed because they expected access to a version of you that no longer exists. They were comfortable with your endless availability. They benefited from your silence. They liked you most when you never challenged their expectations. When you begin choosing yourself, they may call you selfish, not because you became selfish, but because they lost the version of you that was easiest to control. This is why the people pleaser inside you may resist change. The moment you begin setting boundaries, guilt will appear. Your mind may tell you to explain more, apologize, return, or make everyone comfortable again. But guilt is not always a warning that you are doing something wrong. Sometimes guilt is simply the emotional discomfort of doing something new. You have spent so long placing yourself last that choosing yourself feels unnatural. You've been trained to believe that your value comes from being useful. Now you must learn that your value exists even when you are not helping, pleasing, fixing, or sacrificing. You do not need to become cold to kill the people pleaser inside you. You do not need to stop caring. You do not need to become selfish, distant, or harsh. You only need to stop offering kindness as payment for acceptance. Help when you genuinely choose to help. Give when giving does not require you to abandon yourself. Love people without losing your identity. Be compassionate without becoming responsible for everyone's happiness. The goal is not to stop being a good person. The goal is to stop believing that being good requires you to disappear. The people pleaser inside you begins to die the moment you stop asking, how can I keep everyone happy? And start asking, why have I been willing to lose myself just to be accepted? And once you recognize every moment of self-betrayal, you can begin reclaiming the power you have been giving away just to belong. Every time you betray yourself just to be accepted, the people pleaser inside you becomes stronger. It grows whenever you say yes while your mind is screaming no. It grows whenever you agree with something you do not believe because you are afraid of conflict. It grows whenever you apologize for having needs, hide your true feelings to protect someone else's comfort, or sacrifice your peace because you fear being called selfish. These moments may seem small, but repeated self-betrayal slowly changes the way you see yourself. You begin believing that your needs are less important, your boundaries are negotiable, and your value depends on how useful you are to other people. This is exactly how the people pleaser takes control, not through one major decision, but through hundreds of small moments when you choose approval over your own truth. At first, people pleasing may appear to bring peace. You avoid arguments. People praise you for being easygoing. They call you helpful, understanding, reliable, and kind. But beneath that approval, another reality begins to develop. You become exhausted because everyone expects access to your time. You feel invisible because people know what you do for them, but rarely ask what you need. You become resentful because you keep giving without receiving the same consideration. Yet you remain silent because you are afraid that expressing your frustration will make you seem difficult. This is the trap. You sacrifice your peace to avoid conflict, but the conflict does not disappear. It simply moves inside you. The people pleaser inside you wants everyone to believe that you are always okay. So you smile when you feel hurt. You say it's fine when it is not fine. You accept disrespect because speaking up feels risky. You keep showing up for people who only remember you when they need something. Then you wonder why nobody recognizes your value. But people cannot respect boundaries they have never been shown. If you continually teach others that you will tolerate anything, they may begin treating your patience as an unlimited resource. This does not mean every person is intentionally trying to use you. It means your behavior communicates what you are willing to accept. And every time you abandon your own limits to remain liked, you quietly teach people that your approval can be purchased with very little respect. This is where personal power begins to disappear. Power is not controlling other people. It is the ability to remain loyal to yourself even when doing so creates discomfort. The people pleaser loses this power because every decision becomes